Guilford County Schools students and teachers are getting money for all kinds of cool projects, arts and science, music and technology, and they're also getting money for field trips. It's all thanks to the Enrichment Fund for Guilford County Schools. Michelle Schneider is the board chair of the Enrichment Fund for Guilford County Schools. What is this fund?
This fund is organizations came together when the schools merged, and several different organizations brought together their resources so that we could provide kids and teachers with the resources to do things that they couldn't normally do. So our two primary programs are scholarships for field trips and mini grants for teachers. So we're really about making a difference for individual teachers and students.
And so this year, for example, you're going to give out almost $100,000.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and what's really incredible is we give that out in these tiny little chunks. So sometimes we give out $10 and sometimes we give out $300. But those gifts make such a big difference, and so we're able to impact so many people, so many students and so many teachers.
So give us some examples of ways that the Enrichment Fund has impacted our schools and our students.
Great. So if a class is going on a field trip and a student is sitting there going, I might not be able to go on this trip because I can't afford it. They can speak to their teacher, or sometimes the teachers speak to the children because they know that might be an issue, and they can say, you know what, money's not going to be the reason you don't join us on this trip. And so we've worked really hard to streamline the process to make it very full of respect and regard for the family, and to say, we're here, sit down with your teacher, explain your situation, and apply for a scholarship grant. So, and it still requires the family and the student to have some skin in the game. So we pay up to 50% of the cost of the trip. And there's some other guidelines that go along with it, but really it's meant to make sure that no child gets left behind, and to give them the chance to go on these amazing trips. One of the things I love is I think the teachers who really go out of their way to provide these opportunities, it's hard to organize a field trip, and it would just be easier to say, forget it. I feel like we're also saying to them, this is really important. We want to help you in making that possible for your students. And I think they all have a great time. I think it's fun to be in a different place learning.
Ed Whiteheart is the 8th grade science teacher at KISER Middle School. When did you first learn about the Enrichment Fund?
I would say it's probably been 10 years ago or more, when we were looking at taking groups of kids back to the Outer Banks after a break for a number of years, and we were looking at ways to help some of our students to kind of move forward. One of my colleagues at the time came across the Enrichment Fund and said, this looks like a way we can help some kids.
And since then, you've had a number of students get scholarships through the Enrichment Fund.
Oh, absolutely. We've just gotten into the habit every year of, when we send out our information for the Outer Banks trip, we include one of the applications for scholarship information. And then every year you're going to have a kid who will sneak up to you and say, this is the first time I've seen the ocean. This is the first time I've been out of Guilford County, and to be able to provide that kind of opportunity, I think is a great investment.
And knowing that you have some of those funds available, does it make it easier to embark on this trip and to present this to parents?
Oh yeah, you can kind of tell the parents, if you fill the forms out, we're going to be able to help you. I can't tell you how much till you fill them out, but if you get them filled out, I feel sure the Enrichment Fund will provide you something, and then we'll work with you from there.
One thing I think that is important to know about the Enrichment Fund is we are completely volunteer run, so we have no staff, and for many years it was just paper. We would have teachers fill out a paper and we would respond in paper, but thanks to a wonderful organization out in the community, last year we were able to launch a brand new website, and through the website teachers can go on and apply on behalf of the students for the scholarships, and they can apply for the mini grants online as well. And then we have an easy way of looking at those materials and being able to respond quickly. So yeah, it's pretty simple, and it is mostly designed with the teacher in mind in terms of ease of use, but also not requiring them to provide a whole lot of extra. After they get a grant, we've simply just asked them to give us a quick update on how that worked. So easy paperwork, trying to motivate people to take advantage of the Enrichment Fund.
Miss Penn, tell us about how you came to know the Enrichment Fund.
I came to learn about the Enrichment Fund by them emailing everyone in the school district. And so I took upon myself to apply and communicate with them. And it was a very easy process. They have a very short application form for you to fill out, and I turned it in, and you would get a response within about 1 month, which is different with a lot of other grants that might take like 3 months or 4 months.
So explain what Technology Student Association is and what do you do?
Technology Student Association as a group is not just robotics or it's not just necessarily a science club, but it's all encompassing everything that will help us make the world a little bit better for everybody. Almost sort of like Science Olympiad, but it's more hands-on, and they also have to give a presentation about their ideas.
William Cheek is a member of the TSA club, and this is your second year in the club, right?
Right.
What do you like about it?
I like it because you get to do fun activities like technology and other stuff like that.
Like what? Explain, what do you mean by that?
You could do solar cars, you could build them, and all sorts of things. Like you could build houses for off the grid and stuff like that.
So have you built a solar car?
Yes, it's over there on the 3D printer.
Oh, can I see it? Will you show it to me?
Yes.
All right, let's come see it.
So what we did was we put Velcro on here, so in case we didn't need the solar panel, we could just take it off and go inside and race it with the battery compartment right here.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
And you learned all that here?
Yes.
When you are able to tell a child or your group that we're going to be able to do this because we got some funding and grant money, what is that like for you?
It's life-changing because some of these students have not necessarily traveled outside of Greensboro before. It's very inspiring to see the progress the students make, and it's also nice when we win awards. That's the icing on the cake.
Yeah. You obviously work really hard on this. Why? Why does it mean so much to you?
You know, I've been lucky. My kids are Guilford County kids. One's off at college, and it's been a great experience for us. I've worked at the high level, sort of at the policy and organizational level, and that's wonderful and work that needs to be done. It takes a long time to make change in public education. Selfishly, for me, the Enrichment Fund is sort of that quick fix to say, you know what, while we're trying to fix all the big things, let's make a difference today, right now. And when you read these thank you notes from the kids and you hear the stories, and you hear from the teachers how they felt rewarded for having a great idea, for me, it keeps me going. It keeps me going in the long run by being able to help in the immediate. I was fortunate to go on a lot of field trips with my own children, and you just see the power of that. And so I would never want a kid left behind because of money.
Teachers from any Guilford County school can apply for the scholarships and grants. All you have to do is go to enrichmentfund.org.